Good morning, everybody from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's 7:12, and I'm actually adjusting this light here. Let's see if it looks better with this light on. Thinking about this month's been really weird. Very weird month. Very weird month. Let me see if I can use the laptop to plug this thing in. That work. Very strange month. That I will say. It's one of the strangest months of my life. Hey, we got light. Check it out. That's a little better. Yeah, very strange month. Very strange month. It's just some things you can't plan for. So this is a vlog entry. Vlog entry. Let's say 27th. Man, what a strange month. I don't even know where to begin. Well, my computer crapped out on me, so it's at a store right now, and it's been there for like 3 weeks, and that's one thing I need to check up on is the computer. There's no way to fix it, so I just have to buy a brand new computer somehow, magically, which I can't really do right now, so that kind of sucks. My phone crapped out on me, and I'm this close to losing my book on Kindle. This close to losing it. I was trying to verify my ID on Kindle Amazon, but I've had so many technical errors and issues this September. It's unexplainable. It's completely unexplainable. It's kind of unfair. It's just so unfair. I got a new phone recently. Even that was hell to get a new phone because the first two phones they sold me were shit. They had problems. And the lady was like, "This is unbelievable. This has never happened." And then they ended up giving me a new phone number, which I told them I don't want a new number. I want to keep the number I have. It's really important. So they gave me a new number, and I've been trying to get my old one for a week now. And it's just another layer of I wouldn't say frustration. All these things are trying to frustrate me, and it's not working. But it is like a weird month where just everything just went to shit. Everything went to shit. It's unbelievable. I just don't get it. I don't get why everything just went to shit like that. Oh well. I guess I just gotta fix things one step at a time, you know. I'm taking my parents today to the airport. They're leaving for Argentina. They'll be gone for a month. So I'll have the whole month to myself in October, which I feel is going to be another weird month. You know, just going to be another weird month. I don't really like Halloween. I was never a big fan of Halloween, to be honest. And honestly, I kind of want to leave this country. I don't like it anymore. I don't like what I see. I don't like how people are. I don't like it. I want to leave. I want to go to a different country and just start my life over. Because I don't know. Something about the American lifestyle, I just don't, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. It just doesn't. It's just so fake. Everything's fake. Everyone's fake. Everyone lies to you. Everyone has secrets. I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Tired of fake friends. I went through a transformation recently. I quit smoking marijuana. So that's one big thing I did in September. I stopped smoking marijuana. I'm proud of myself for that. I'm really proud of myself. I used to rely on it so much, and I don't want to be like that anymore. You know, I don't want to have this crutch. I was spending $500 a month on marijuana. Can you imagine? It's just ridiculous. So now I'm saving. I'm saving so much money. Maybe I'll be able to buy my computer here in a month or so. Um, but Charlie Kirk died this month. It was quite shocking. It was shocking for me. I never met the guy, but I watched his videos quite a bit. About the last 2 weeks of his life, I was watching his videos like every day. I was starting to become a big fan of his, really, and then he died, and it was so shocking because I remember seeing the first YouTube video, and it was the governor of Utah and some other people, and they came out, and it was like I thought it was fake. I thought it was a joke or something. I was like, no, another tabloid YouTube. There's so much tabloid garbage on YouTube. I'm getting kind of sick of it, to be honest. Everybody has their opinion, and it. Some people are just so delusional. They're just so far gone. They believe in the the weirdest things. And I'm kind of guilty of it, but I'm not one of those people that believes in weird things. I believe in the objective truth. Um, and when you find proofs that are undeniable, indisputable, mathematically uncorruptible, what do you do with that? You know, um, it's not based on hearsay. It's not based on, oh, he said this, or it's an opinion. No, it's solid facts. You can't refute that. So my worldview has changed dramatically. Uh, and like I said, I come across a lot of YouTube videos, and it's just like Candace Owens, for example. She's probably the most prime example of somebody who is using people's fear of the world and mistrust of the government, and mistrust of everything, which is in itself kind of a sickness, to not trust anyone, and not have any trust in any institution. You got to have a little trust. You got to have a little faith. What's that saying? Take the truth but verify it. I feel like nobody verifies anything anymore. They just watch somebody talk. They say their opinion on something. Those people get a gazillion views, and then but it doesn't matter. The truth, it doesn't matter. It seems like it doesn't matter anymore. It's just opinions that matter. You see so many people living in delusions. So many. It scares me because it's those people that cause violence. You know, um, it's just, I don't know. It's like I was saying before. I almost want to move out of the States. I don't want to live here anymore. I'm just tired of it. I don't. I just don't like it. I don't like it here anymore. I just don't. Um, where would go? I don't know. Thinking about maybe going back to Argentina. Maybe start a new life there. I don't know. Uh, maybe Italy, and just maybe spend my time just painting in Italy. Trust but verify. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Ronald Reagan. There's a lot of hatred for Ronald Reagan out there in the world. I just, maybe I shouldn't just, I feel like when I didn't watch so much YouTube, I was more at peace. And maybe that's the issue. Maybe as humans, we're not meant to look into every little corner and cranny that exists, because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Um, a lot of evil out there, tremendous amount of evil. It's just kind of sickening. Maybe what do you call those people? Those people that live out in like farms and don't have electricity. I think they have it right. I think they got it right. It's probably one of the best ways to live, is just simple, off the land, family oriented, God oriented. You know, that's what's important. At the end of the day, that's what's important to me. Family, God, my health. That's really about it. I could care less about anything else. I turned in that painting, the Charlie Kirk painting. I turned it in. I took it. I took my father's idea. His idea was that I should take it to the headquarters, the Republican headquarters here, the Tulsa County GOP, and I did. I took the painting, and they have like a little security that I had to go through. It was kind of interesting. I mean, not much. It's just locked doors and stuff, whatever. But yeah, they loved it. They were completely surprised because nobody did anything. Nobody did anything to tribute Charlie, which was surprising. They told me, they were like, nobody did anything. Like, even the churches we go to, they didn't say anything about Charlie. Nothing. And I was like, really? I mean, that's so weird. How is it that I feel like I'm probably the only one in Tulsa who had any kind of effect by Charlie? I was like, am I the only one? But yeah, I've returned to Christ, and not in a wishy-washy way. Like, I returned to him because I felt his real presence, and I know he's real. And there's nothing that's going to convince me otherwise that he's not. So I'm in this transition in my life. September has just been a weird month. So weird. I don't want to be the old version that I was. I don't like that version of me anymore. I want to be better. I want to be a better person. And I don't have a need for riches or fame or anything like that. So I'm still trying to figure things out. I think painting seems to be my thing. I did a lot of stuff in film, and I was very dedicated to filmmaking and making projects, but it just was a battle. It was a battle against people who didn't want to see me succeed. It was a battle. Just so many battles, and it's just not worth it at the end of the day. I have my last movie called Stray Kids, and that's it. I'm done. I'm going to release that whenever this channel gets monetized, and then I'll just release it and see what happens. Maybe I can make some money from the movie. I have my film festival. That's good. I still got that going. So, I don't want to give that up necessarily. This year was good. This year in May, I had it, and it was actually the biggest one I ever did. It was the most. It made the most money. Most people came to it. So this year in May was pretty fantastic. So I look forward to next year. So all in all, I probably will stay here. I probably won't move out of the States. But if you ask me if I like it here, not necessarily. No, I don't. I don't like it here. But I'm willing to fight it out. I'm willing to find where I belong, I guess. I guess I'm still on the hunt of, like, where do I belong? So, once I was at the Republican office there, they actually invited me to a couple of churches. So tomorrow I'm gonna go check them out. And then what else? Yeah, I don't know. They asked me to come out to the fair. They said they got me a ticket. They have the Charlie Kirk painting there at the booth that they have. Mark Twain. Baudelaire. Ooh, right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm a reader. This year I read 20 books. There's a couple of books on my shelf that I need to read. I kind of like assign myself books to read, But yeah, the Republican people, they invited me to church. They invited me to the fair because they're going to have the Charlie Kirk painting there, and they want me to come out and just help them out with some handing out flyers for the Republican Party or whatever, and I gotta make business cards for the painting. I haven't made a single penny off the paintings that I do. I've done like 15 paintings, I think, this year. Again, I'm just not money oriented. I never was, and I used to be like, man, I just don't understand money. But the fact is I don't care. I never cared for money. But I've always felt the presence of God in my life, and the God just kind of allowing me to have my necessities taken care of. But I don't need money in my life. I don't need it, which is funny because now I have a lot of it. I have a lot of it because, like I said, I don't smoke anymore, and I would spend about $500 a month on marijuana, and that I quit smoking. It's just like I have this money. It's just saving, and it's kind of interesting. It's like the less I care about it, the more I have it. I don't know. I think God is permitting me to possibly move a little forward in life, because I think God sees that I'm changing. I don't want to be that person that I was. So it's like he's probably awarding me, I guess. I'm getting these awards. My life seems to be getting better and better. Yeah, but I think I might have some kind of future with the Republican Party. I'm not even going to lie about that. I felt a connection when I was there. It felt right. The weirdest thing, though, is the person that was there is actually the sister of a filmmaker that I know. And when we were talking and we put two and two together, we're like, really? That's interesting. So I kind of saw that as a sign a little bit. But if you ask me if I want to do anything in film, no, I don't want to do anything in film. I'm just done. I'm done with it. I'm done. In theater as well. I think I'm done with it. I did theater this year. I was able to debut on stage and do a play and whatnot, but it was just so much work and I got nothing from it, except for the experience. Experience was good, and I proved to myself that I could do it. But other than that, I didn't get anything from it. So I'm just kind of like questioning stuff that I do. It's like, well, am I going to get something out of this or not? And if it doesn't, why am I going to waste my time with it? I think the older I get, the more time becomes more precious. And I'm just like being very selective of what I do with my time. I spend more time in conversation with God and prayer. I do more of that now. I'm guilty of watching YouTube. I watch so much YouTube. I gotta stop. I gotta stop with that. I gotta take it back a notch. Now, before September, I want to say even before August, I had a pretty solid routine of exercising, gardening, eating really healthy, but I was still smoking. I'm still unemployed. I've been unemployed this entire year. But I freelance and I do things and I make money that way. But it's just crazy to me how long I've been unemployed. It's an insane amount of time. And it's not that I wasn't looking for a job. I've been looking for jobs. I applied for jobs and I just never got a call back. Never got anything. So I just stopped. I was like, if no one's going to take me, then forget it. Most of the reason was I was either too overqualified or I didn't have enough experience. So it was just like which one is it? So I'm in this weird middle ground where like I said, I'm either overqualified or I don't have enough experience in something. So I was like, damn. And most of the jobs that turned me down, like for instance, I actually did go to an interview for like what do you call it? Insect. You kill insects, whatever. Insect, whatever. And I did that a long time ago. And they looked at me funny because my resume is film, acting, film, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they looked at me. I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I need a freaking job." Like I didn't say it like that, but I was like, "Yeah, I need a job." Um, and they looked at me like, "You don't belong here." And I was like, "Motherfucker!" Everywhere I go, it's like, "You don't belong here." I was like, "Gosh, like where do I belong?" It's really annoying. It's like you really want to work, and they look at your resume, and they go, "Oh, sorry, you're not our type." It's like, what? Doesn't my resume say how much of a hard worker I am? Like, doesn't that say what it is? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand these people. So I don't know. I got tired of being told I was either too overqualified or didn't have enough experience, and so I was just like, forget it. This is stupid. This is so stupid. People are dumb. I'm tired of this. So yeah, I don't know. I quit looking for a job. You know, I take care of my parents' house. They pay me for that. You know, but it's like I guess you can call it an allowance. I used to spend it on weed, but now I don't spend it. Now I just save it. So I got lots of money. Lots of money. Um, I don't spend any money. I don't buy new clothes. I don't do any of that. The only thing I had to spend was a phone. It was like $90, which is no big deal. I got lots of money now, but I'm just annoyed because, like I said, they changed my number, and I'm waiting for them to change it back because I can't do anything. Basically, I can't do anything with it until they change it back. I don't know. Maybe I should get into politics. Maybe I should run for mayor or something. I don't know. I have that kind of mentality, but I don't know. I'm a very caring person. Like I have a lot of love to give, but I know I need to work on myself first. I need to pour that love into myself, which I've been doing all year. Considering where I was at the beginning of the year, it was a complete mess, disaster, heartbroken, got fired, just a mess, mess, dark place, very dark place, and slowly getting out of that mess. And I didn't know that healing would lead to Christ. Isn't that funny? It's almost like this whole time God had a plan for me, and I was just writing it out. I had no idea that all from January, I was doing my healing, doing that, and no idea it would lead to Christ. And it did. It did. So now that I'm a true, I don't want to say Christian, but I'm definitely a true believer of Christ, believer of God, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in eternity. It exists. How do you want to spend eternity? You want to spend it in hell or do you want to spend it in heaven? I don't want to spend it in hell. That's for sure. I've experienced enough evil in this world to not want to spend my eternity with that garbage. I see sin as just something disgusting now. It's weird. I didn't care much like to even look at that, but now sinning is just something that makes me just disgusted. Like I'm just disgusted with it. Evil, sinning, all that stuff. It makes me disgusted. Like it's just gross. It's just gross. I can almost see. I can almost see I don't want to say demons, but I can see the demons in people. Like, I don't see them, but I can see how it affects, like, what's affecting them, and potentially that could be a demon affecting them. There's people have their demons, and I can see that clearly now in people. I can see where they're suffering from, what their how their choices, where their choices had led them to. I can see it now. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Tons, 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 tons. Some are irreversible mistakes I can't take back. I think that's the hardest one, is when you make mistakes and you can't fix. There's nothing to fix. It's done, and it's affected you, and that's all. You just have to accept it and move on. That's tough. It's really tough to swallow that there's some mistakes you can't correct, that once you've made them, that's it. You've made them, and you can't go back. I think that's the hardest one. I think most people suffer from those mistakes the most. And that's the hardest one to get over, because you have to accept it. You can't go back in time. You can't go back in time and fix things. But what you can do is take what time you have to change your behavior, to stop sinning, to try to come as close as possible to being in the grace of the Holy Spirit. And that's what I'm working towards. I'm still kind of confused about things, because part of me wants a family, but I can't have a family. I can't create life anymore. I don't have that capability, so I'd have to adopt. But then that makes things a little bit more difficult. So I don't know. I'm in a very strange place. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for instructions, if that makes sense. I've heard somebody say that, just wait and let God fill you with instructions, and I'm here to do God's will, I don't know why I'm alive. I could have been dead so many times in my life. I could have died easily, but I'm still here. And I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste, I don't know. I could die tomorrow. Who knows? But I don't want to waste my time, doing nothing. But if it means waiting for instructions, then I wait for instructions, because that's where I'm at. If I'm going to be real, that's where I'm at. I'm waiting for instructions. I guess in a lot of ways, I'm just walking away from everything, because I don't know. I think back about the person I was, and I don't want to be that person anymore. It's a lot easier to do once you come to that realization that you don't want to be that person anymore. It's a lot easier to do. I'm not sad. I'm not hurting. I don't have any pains. A little confused, but not so much. I think I'm still in the process of transitioning, and struggling with a little bit, not too much, but struggling a little bit with still doing the right thing. But ultimately, yeah, I'm gonna take your advice, get back to reading classics. But if anything, I'm gonna start reading the Bible. I haven't done that in a long time. There's just so much wisdom in there that I'm missing and lacking, and I need to dive back in and start reading it. I still vape. I started vaping around August, so I have my nicotine vape that I do. But I'm eventually going to quit that too. I am. I think in a lot of ways, I probably substituted the nicotine smoking for marijuana. It did help quit marijuana, but I know I need to quit vaping. Probably what'll happen is I'll vape until there's no more, and I just won't buy anymore, and just just try to make it through without having to go buy one. That's the key there with the vape. But it's actually going to be, I think it'll be fun for me to, because my parents, I'm taking them to the airport today. They're going back home to Argentina for a while. So I'll have the house to myself. I'll be completely by myself. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Just complete peace. Because my parents are crazy. They're just crazy. It's like taking care of little kids. In some ways. But they're insane. Dear God, they're insane. I love them, but they're kind of crazy. I think a lot of why I didn't have peace in my life was, I don't want to blame them, but it's because of my parents. They're just effing crazy. I don't want to talk smack, but sometimes my dad acts like a 2-year-old. So it's a big problem. There's always fighting in the house, and I'm the one who has to stop it and make sure there's peace. It's been like that my whole life, and so it's nice to have this peace and just have this complete peace that I've been craving. I want to be alone. I want to be alone for a minute. And I have to worry about, calming this person down or cleaning up after their messes, or it's just stressful. It's exhausting. Just constantly cleaning up after somebody. I mean, we're talking about adults. They should be able to do that on their own. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. My father. Very frustrating. I love him, of course. I don't wish ill on my parents. But it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And they're not American, right? So they're Argentinian, which kind of makes it a little harder for them to be here, because they don't jive with the way Americans are. They've always had social problems, and it just made it a little extra harder for them. I can feel the stress already leaving my body, knowing that they're going to be, they're going to be home with family, and I'll be here alone. It'll be nice. It'll be so nice. Oh man, it'll be so nice. I can't wait. I mean, it's pretty much it. I don't have much to think about anymore. I just what I look forward to is the book. I got to finish here in a couple of days. I have to verify my ID. I might have to go to the library and get that done. But once I verify my ID, my book will be official on Amazon. So there's a lady I reached out to. There's a bookstore here called Magic City Books, where I did some events, screenwriting events and things like that in the past. And I reached out to them, and they have these big book events that they held at downtown. A lot of people come out, and so I told them, yeah, I wrote a book. But what's crazy is I was supposed to verify my ID by the the 15th of September. But my computer crapped out. I got so busy with other things. It was like one thing after the other. I just couldn't find the time to do it. And when I was doing it, there was technical problems, and it just wouldn't work. I've had nothing but technical problems all of September. It's just crazy. It felt like an assault on my life. So I'm ready to be done with September. It's been a freaking weird month. Tough, freaking weird month. I hope October is better, but I'm kind of worrying that it won't be better. It's just going to be kind of the same thing. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what'll happen. But this lady said I can, once I fill them in with more about the book, that they'll consider, doing an event with me about the book and do like a book release with all these people. I think it's a really good idea. There's already a second book I want to write. I have it all mapped out and everything. I just have to write it. One thing I thought about doing is the second book I write. It leans towards motivation, and so it's crossed my mind to become a motivational speaker. I've been thinking about it quite a bit. So that's been crossing my mind a lot. I just got to figure out how it is I can uniquely inspire and motivate people. And I haven't quite pinned that down yet. But I'm in the works. It could be about my transformation, about finding Christ. It could be about that, but I don't know if that'll work in real life, corporate situations. Full Circle Books OKC, beautiful. Fireplaces Cafe. No, I have not. That's pretty cool though. I'll have to write that one down. Full Circle Books, huh? OKC is not too far. Yeah, I do things there every once in a while. I could reach out to them. I actually thought about doing something in a different city, so that's actually not a bad idea. Thank you. Appreciate that. But my book is about pretty much a little bit of my life in the film industry, and quite frankly, I'm disappointed with the film industry because it's just a cesspool of it's a cesspool. It's got a lot of disgusting people in film, and it kind of ruined it for me. Ever since I was a kid making movies, I had a purity about it, an innocence about it, and just being part of it for 5 years, like for reals in the industry, I just realized it's not for me. I don't want to be around those people. Just not for me. It's very controlled. There's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of like the whole diversity thing. It makes it impossible for me to find a fucking job. I mean, so even grants, even with the arts, I talk about how I would look for grants, and the only grant I got a grant while I was a student because I was the only person that applied for it, but a lot of these other grants, a lot of people apply for, and sometimes I get feedback and it's like, oh, they don't say it like this, but I know what they mean. You're not diverse enough is what, I'm not a female, I'm not a person of color, or I'm not, I'm straight. So that's a problem for a lot of people, I guess. So I just can't get ahead. I cannot get ahead in the film industry. I've tried. Believe me, I worked my ass off, and it just doesn't work. For some reason, it doesn't work. So I'm done trying. I'm just done. The I don't know. I had such a purity and love for it. I studied it my whole life. I my knowledge always surpassed those who were in it for the wrong reasons, and it sucks because I have so much experience and so much knowledge in that area. Um, but there's people who don't want to see you succeed, and it makes it harder. So what can you do? Oh, that's cool. Recently I had a content creators book fair. Interesting. Content creators. That's cool. That is interesting. I bought a book recently. It's The Science of Going Viral. But not because I necessarily want to be famous, but if I can find a niche on YouTube that serves people and I can figure out something that brings value to people, that's part of it. It's part of going viral. But I don't have a need for it. Like I don't want to be famous. I don't care for that anymore. I used to care a little bit when I got into acting and stuff. I thought I'd be pretty cool. Not the fame aspect, but the part of actually working as an actor. It was something that was really appealing to me always since like I was a kid, since I was freaking a baby. And I don't know, just didn't work for me. And it's crazy because everyone tells me all the time, you're an amazing actor, you're an amazing this, we got to put you in movies, and it never happens. Never happens. I don't get it. It just never happens. I've gone to so many trainings. I've gone to so many workshops. I with like people that have done so many things. People you've heard of their names. You would know their face. I've been around A-list people, like just everything, and it just never works out. I don't understand. Never works. It's always like the other guy gets it or the other girl gets it. I'm just there dumbfounded because it's like a lot of these people are new. They're like brand new to the scene, and they get it instantly. And it's like so frustrating to spend your whole life dedicated to something and nobody gives a fuck. It sucks. So that's one thing I had to kind of just let it go. I just had to let it go. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Nobody cares for it, so why do it? you know, that's the conclusion I came to. So I had a lot. Oh my god, my creativity is unmatched. My ideas. I would be on set handing ideas like candy, and they fucking love it and they take it. I always say, take the idea. It's fine. Take it, and they use it. I thought by doing that I could show that I have a knack for this, but no, they take it and then bye. It's like damn, so harsh. But yeah, forget it. I'm done with it. I'm done. Like I said, Stray Kids is my last movie. Once I'm able to successfully hit those 1,000 subscribers and get the channel monetized, I will release my movie on YouTube. It's my tribute to classics like The Outsiders, Rumblefish, Mean Streets. I purposely made it so it looks rough around the edges, scratches. I made it look filmy and made it look gritty. There's an authenticity to it. But it was a hard movie to make because I had nothing. Just yeah. I'm gonna write a book about it eventually. But I don't even know how to talk about it because it was just so tremendous. Like I don't even know where to begin. But yeah, there'll be a book about it eventually. But it's a very Tulsa movie. You can't. It's such a Tulsa movie. It's funny. It's such a funny. It's not funny, but it's so Tulsa. It's ridiculous. And I was very disappointed when Circle Cinema didn't pick it. I thought it was weird, but they're always aggressive towards me. Circle Cinema, the people there are always aggressive towards me. Just nasty people. Yeah, so there's a whole story there that you're not gonna believe, but yeah, you know, involves the FBI and getting banned and freaking insane people like stalking me and trying to hurt me, try to tow my car. They try to tow my car. It's just people are evil, man. They're fucking evil. I'm just tired of it. I'm really tired of it. I'd rather just be a hermit. Be a hermit and write my books. That sounds good to me. Write my books, do my paintings, Yeah, Pony Boy, that's right. Stay gold, Pony Boy. You know what was really cool about this year? I had a painting that was selected for the Stay Gold art thing that they were doing with Mayfest. I was one of the 14 artists selected. What was cool about it is the judges couldn't see our names. I'm pretty sure if one of them saw my name, they wouldn't have picked it because that's how aggressive they are here. They're people in Tulsa are very aggressive against me, like very, very aggressively against me. I think most of it's because I'm not a piece of grass that flaps in the wind. You know what I'm saying? I have my values, I have my morals, and I stand up for them. And people don't like that. People don't like it when you stand up for your morals. So it is what it is. You know, they don't like it if you stand up for your morals. They don't like it when you're succeeding. They don't like it when you're making it. And I was making it. I was doing something nobody in Tulsa was doing. Nobody, and they had to kill it. They had to find ways to destroy me, and they successfully did it. They were successful in destroying me. But like I said, out of that destruction came a long journey of healing that started in January. And I have to say, because of all that nonsense, I found Christ. So I win. That's how I see it. That's how I see it at the end of the day. Because a lot of these people don't have Christ in their hearts and they are suffering. I know that much. So God bless them. God bless them. Lots of lost people out there, especially in the film industry, man. Yeah. I just didn't like it. I like filmmaking, but I don't like the film industry. I just don't. It's fucking, yeah, I don't like it. But yeah, who knows? Maybe now painting and writing books is my thing now. Because painting, I do paintings and people freak out over my paintings. They love them. They want to buy them and stuff. And they're not for sale right now. They're mainly not for sale because there's this movie theater where I do my, I've had screenings. I do the film festival at and everything. So all these paintings that I have in this movie theater, some of them are signed by the celebrities. I have one of Hulk Hogan. Before he died, I was able to get him to sign it. And he was visiting here in Oklahoma. And he loved it. He loved the painting. So I had that Hulk Hogan signed painting, and people are nuts about it. It's crazy. We get offers every now and then. It's not for sale. Sorry. It's not for sale, and it's going to stay in that theater probably forever. But I have so many paintings over there. It's pretty cool. There's 12 right now. Lots of celebrities that I got. That was during my time where I was healing. I needed a creative outlet, and so I started doing this. I started painting. I see what you say, Mick. Last time I was at Circle Cinema, watched Life of Coco Chanel. Don't like parking in the back at night. Coco Chanel, of all things. Interesting bio. Yeah. I don't like their seats. They're just so like, you sit down, you're like, there's like no space. There's no space in front of you. There's no space beside you. It's very, I don't know. I don't like the seating. I think they messed that up. But this theater I go to, because I'm banned from Circle, they banned me. There's this little theater, like very family oriented, very good for like the kids and stuff, that I go to a lot, and it feels like family there. The difference between a family oriented movie theater versus Circle Cinema is enormous. The way I got treated at Circle was complete trash, and the way I get treated at this theater, at the family oriented theater, just like respect, like you would anybody, right? Um, so it's nice. It's nice. It's nice to just feel normal and not feel like I'm being attacked at every fucking corner, you know? So it's nice. I've been able to do my paintings. They allow me to do the festival and things. I've been able to do anything I pretty much want. I've made them money. I've made them money. That's the best part. You know, I've made them money, and I hope I can continue to make them money because they're a small theater, and you know, why not? They you know, I love what they do and what they're doing, and so this year they're doing a haunted house. They did one last year, and I was a big part of it. But this year is going to be incredible. The haunted house they're doing this year is incredible. So I'm happy to be a part of that again. I'll volunteer as usual. That doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the haunted house. But you know, I'm not a big Halloween guy. I'm not a big Halloween guy. I'm not. I took advantage last year of just dressing up, you know, because of the actor. You want to, when you're acting and doing things, you want to do things. So I was Beetlejuice for a while. I was Beetlejuice on skates. There was a skating ring here in Sand Springs, so I was Beetlejuice and I would skate around as Beetlejuice. It was freaking hilarious. And then I teamed up with this trans lady person who played the 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 female lead, I guess. I forgot the name. I had no problem with it. You know, that's the thing. You know, you get accused of all these things, and these are just assholes who try to ruin your life that they don't know shit. You know, they're just hateful little rodents, little critters who are so hateful. You know, and if you're not careful, that hate that they project onto you, you might absorb it and you become hateful yourself, which is what happened to me. You know, all the hate I was getting every freaking day, every freaking week, every fucking Sunday, just it got to me. You know, I broke down. I was just you know, and then I lost everything, and it made things worse. I had like a mental breakdown. Man, it was bad. It was so bad. It was really bad, really bad. But now I have clarity now. I think out of everything that happened, I have, considering what happened to me, and still I was able to do the paintings, write the book. You know, it's actually pretty impressive. It had my debut on stage. So I kept going, you know, I kept going, even though I was like broken inside, like completely broken. I kept going. So yeah, yeah, yeah. You said it. You said it, Mick. Got a lot of hate from those people. Um, Especially the younger ones. They're the nastier ones. They're the ones that are, you know, they're young, ignorant, full of hate, full of pain, and they unleash. You know, they can't help themselves. But not now, as somebody who's getting closer to God, you know, I see people suffering. I see them. I see them suffering. You know, I don't hold anything against them. They're suffering. They're suffering tremendously. You know, and there's really nothing you can do. I mean, pray for them. You can pray for them. The other day, I was having phone problems, so I went to Assist Wireless, and there's this guy in a wheelchair out there, and he finally was like, "Hey, can you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And what do you need? He's like, vicious people. Yes, Mick. It's they're just so far gone, man. I don't. That's what makes me so disgusted with evil. Like before Kirk, I was like passive about it. I was just very passive about the evil that was out there. I even tried to make friends with it. And that's where it all went downhill. Me actually trying to build the bridges with all these kinds of people. I was out in the public quite a bit. I was doing screenings 3-4 times a month for a whole year last year, and so I was like a public person. I was a public figure for a minute, and the attacks, man, the attacks. Oh my gosh. It's what really fucked me up, man. People are vicious. So it didn't help that, that the cafe that I was doing the screenings was owned by a gay man, which I had no problem with. I tipped, I went in there, bought coffee, I tipped tremendously. I made free popcorn for everybody. It was free for everybody. Did it 3-4 times a week. And they still like kicked me out because of rumors that they heard. It's disgusting. I spent a whole year dedicating my life to screening, building a bridge with other filmmakers and bringing them to audiences. Because look, in Tulsa, there's a niche of like circle cinema, and that's considered the indie scene. But there's a lot outside of that people don't go to circle. They're not filmy, nichey people. They're just regular people or just people trying to live their lives. And I noticed that, and I was like, oh, we can reach an audience here that circle doesn't reach. And so that's why I did that. And I was reaching an audience. Like I was reaching an audience that didn't even know circle cinema existed. That's how bad it was. And so I was like, oh, I found something here. I'm onto something here. And it was slowly building an audience. People were enjoying it. People were watching short films they've never seen. A lot of local. I was promoting local films. I was promoting over 20 filmmakers locally, and they all turned on me. Why? Because I had the spotlight. I was doing all the work. You know what I'm saying? I was doing all the work, putting in the money, and these filmmakers didn't do a single damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I was promoting it. I was putting the flyers. So it just would appear that I had the spotlight, but that's not why I did it. And so all the filmmakers turned it on me. All the locals turned on me. It was just sick, man. It was just sick. It was sick. Fucking jealous, vicious, nasty people, spreading rumors, tarnishing my name, turning people against me like that, and me being me, I stand up for myself. So it kind of made it worse because these people came at me and I was like, nah, that's not how we play, and so, but yeah, that was a pretty horrible experience. But I learned a lot. If I were to do this again, I know how I would do it to protect myself from these kinds of things, But I felt like I went out and I didn't go out and talk to people. I didn't, what I'm saying? I wasn't sharing my point of view. I wasn't, what I'm saying? I wasn't doing all I did was screen movies for people to enjoy, a bunch of short films that were created in Tulsa, including mine, because I'm also a filmmaker. So I would show mine as well. But every filmmaker had a problem with that. It's like, what is the problem? It's like, I don't understand people's mentality. Like, I'm a filmmaker too, so I'm going to show my film too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not allowed to do that? Like, you guys are insane. So it was just brain. It hurts. My brain hurts because of the stupidity. Of all the stupidity, man. I'm telling you. They just didn't get it. They didn't get what I was doing. They didn't like that I was getting popular. And so they did something about it. You know? And in return in return to what they did to me, I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about it. So it's all in the book. So it's I need to verify my ID so the book is on Amazon officially, and I have to until October 6th to get it done. Hopefully I get it done tomorrow or Monday. But I have so many things going on. My phone is like partly not working right. My computer crashed. There's so many things I got to fix before I can like get to it. But I better make it a priority and get it done. I better get that done because I missed my deadline. It was the 15th of September, and I was able to email those folks and be like, look, listen, my life is crazy right now. Let me tell you, this is happening. This is breaking. Nothing's working. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll give you more time. So I was like, thank God. Because all the work I did to get it published on Amazon, it's a lot of freaking work. I worked on that freaking insane amount of work. I told him, I was like, it's like so unfair. You know, I was like, I put in so much work into this and I missed the deadline because my life is crazy right now. I can't explain it. So can I please have a little more time? And they said, yes, thank God. But the amount of work I put in this thing for them to just be like, oh, sorry, we're going to take it out now because you didn't verify your ID. I was like, come on, please, like, help me out here. Somebody throw me a bone. They did. So thank God, because they're the only ones. They were like, well, you know, we understand. We're actually here to see you succeed. We want to see you succeed with your book. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because or else all that work I did for like a whole month, down the trash, if they didn't give me more time. So thank God, because I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. I did all this work to get it published, and now you're just going to throw it all away. I was like, oh, just for one little thing I didn't do. I was ready to give up. I was ready. I mean, thank goodness I emailed them and explained my situation because I was ready to give up. I was like, forget it, dude. I can't do anything right. Like, everything just falls apart on me. So I was this close to giving up. Vicious people, man. Yeah, when I heard Charlie Kirk was killed, man, it hit me hard because I was actually starting to watch him like for like 2 weeks before it happened. I would watch him like every day, and I was like, man, this guy's smart. Like, I like what he's saying. I like what he's talking about, you know. And at that time, I was still very critical about Jesus. I was on the fence. Like, was he real? I don't think he was real. I think he was like a made up figure to help propel a story of morality, you know. And it wasn't until, and the one thing I didn't understand, I never could make sense of it, was Christ died for our sins. I couldn't compute that in my brain. Like, what does that mean? I don't understand that. And it wasn't until like a few days after Kirk died, I found myself weeping for a man I never met, but I think I understood him. I understood him because he was very clear with his stance on things. So I understood him. I saw him as a good person, as a good man. And so I fucking wept for this man. I weep for the world. I was like, how can the world be this fucking evil to take out a father? To take out a good man like this? You gotta be kidding me. People cannot be this evil, but they are. That's what's scary. You don't know. Anybody who's walking around us has the potential to do that same thing. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me the most, that the potential of evil exists in certain people. And I've seen it up close. I've seen how vicious they can be with not killing me, but the attacks that I got. It's vicious. I never did anything to them. Nothing. I didn't do a single damn thing to these people. It's fucking scary, man. That's why I'm like messed up about it. But yeah, I was crying for this man, and that's when I had my revelation. A bit afterwards, I noticed I wasn't the only one that was affected like that. There were a lot of people who were affected the same way, and I was like, why? Why are we being affected like this? So I just kept, I had questions. I kept asking myself questions, and finally it made sense. Seeing how the worst part is that it made evil people more evil is what it seems like, or just exposed them. But the people who are like good-hearted people, they were going back to church. Some people were finding Christ again, like me, and I was like, something clicked. Jesus was a good man, and when he died, people saw the evil. They were exposed to it. They had the same effect. People were like, "Oh my God, he really was the son." Like you know what I'm saying? Like it just affected people in such a tremendous way. And Kirk had the same effect around the world. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So it finally clicked. He died for our sins. I finally get it. I finally freaking get it. And I can't certainly put into words, but I get it. I get it. I can feel it. I get it. I understand it. Why he died for our sins. It's crazy. But that was the one thing I never understood. And it finally made sense in my head. And, I've always been a bit of a truther. I don't like to admit that because, being a truther gets you in trouble. So, I'm always like looking for the truth, and I resonate with truth. I don't resonate with lies. I despise lies. And if I get a whiff of it, if I get a whiff of a lie, I'm just like, don't lie to me, please. And there's so many people out there who are like, oh, lies are good. Okay, you can lie. It's like, no, it's not. Stop it. You're causing little deviances. You're causing little negative ripples, and it's like, stop it. Please stop lying. Please. I'm tired of people lying. That's a scary thing about being honest and just when you're honest and forward, people can take advantage of you. When you're a nice person, a good person, honest, people will take advantage of you. So you gotta be on your toes when it comes to people's intentions. There's so many ignorant people out there, so many dumb people. They're just stupid. I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive, but they are. They're just plain stupid. They got no wisdom in them. They have no wisdom whatsoever in them whatsoever. You talk about things like intention and things like that, they just it goes right over their head. I know he was at OSU, and I wasn't really into him at that point. I found out later that he was at OSU, and I was like, oh, I could have met him. I could have seen him. I missed him, man. Wow, Mick, crazy. Small world sometimes, huh? It's weird how certain things and events can connect us. It's pretty interesting. That's been I think my biggest problem is finding people like me. I'm surrounded by people who are not like me, and I'm quite tired of it. I want to find my tribe, like, where are my people? And I guess that's what happens when you put yourself out there and you want to connect with people, but you're in the wrong places, Maybe that was it. I was just in the wrong places. But tomorrow I'm going to go back to church. I got invited to 2 churches. I'm gonna try my hardest to make both. I don't know if I will be, but I definitely will try. Um, but give it a shot. I mean, there's got to be better people in churches than just in the secular world, right? Is my assumption. What I'm hoping for. I grew up in church. I went to Catholic church all my life until I was like 20, 21, somewhere around there. I stopped going. Always good people. It seemed like there was always good people there. You know, I'm sure there's some bad ones in there, but it seemed like in the majority of anything, there's a lot of good people there. You know. One thing I did that was many, many, many years ago when I was 17 years old, about right out of high school, I went to Washington, D.C. 3 times because there's this thing called March for Life. And I'm very pro-life. I'm very like, the science is there. Life happens at conception. It's kind of obvious. And, at that point, life begins and it's on a journey, So it never was a problem to me. I understood it immediately. So I went to these marches in DC. That's kind of how I started my filmmaking career. I would film the marches, and I did a whole documentary on the March for Life. I went 3 times, and it was massive, massive. Lots of people there. Lots of people went to these things. They would even fill up an arena. They would have a bishop come out and do a church service, and the arena was packed with youth and all kinds of people from all over the states, different colleges. And I remember that clearly. Yeah. And then, of course, at they call it the mall, I guess, the Capitol Mall or whatever. There were what do you call it? That what do you call it? I know the name of it. I can't think of it. The pyramid looking thing, the Washington Monument. Just filled with people, a sea of people, And in the streets, when they start marching, you look down, it looked like a sea of a million people on this road, And I got that shot. I got a shot of from a top of a hill of the road, and it went all the way down, and it was just a sea of people. It was I've never seen anything like that. It was crazy. That's how I started my serious filmmaking stuff. And I would interview people. I would go and interview people. I was doing that before people started doing that. I feel like nobody was doing that. So I would go with my microphone and camera. I would interview people. I would interview young kids, older adults. I would find people who were against it. And most of the time, the people that I met that were against pro-life looked like fucking demons, man. I'm not fucking joking. They look like the most horrible fucking demonic people you've ever met. Sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but it just is what it is, man. Like it's clear as day and night. Like everybody who was pro-life was family oriented. They had kids, and all the people who were pro-choice didn't have kids. They were mostly men who looked like demonic people, and just seemed like they were just there to cause trouble, And so it's clear as day what's going on, right? There's definitely a war between good and evil. There's people that are just freaking possessed. They're just freaking gone, man. They're possessed. They're gone. They sold their soul to the devil. They're just gone. They don't care anything about God. They don't care about life. They don't care about goodness. They could care. They're selfish. They're so selfish in their ways. And then they claim that's good. Give me a break. Nobody wants to end up like that. So good luck. Good luck with that. And, when you're possessed like that, or you have demons in you, and you have problems like that, those people don't see themselves for who they are. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they take a good look in the mirror and go, oh, wow, I'm a disgusting, filthy person. No, they don't do that. They just accept it, and they go, yep, this is my life. I love my life, even though it's horrible and trash. Poor example. It's a poor model of how to live your life. Nobody wants to be that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you. I'm gonna go work out too. Good idea. Battery thing. That's interesting. But I'm gonna go work out. That's what I'm gonna go do now. Mick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here, and everybody who's watching. I hope you got something from it, or unless you're one of my haters. I think one of my haters watches me. God bless you, hater. Hope you find God. Hope you find peace. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go work out. That's a good idea. I'm gonna end it right now. So, peace. See y'all later. God be with you.